no one really wants to start. Like myself, it's a bit skeptical to say, hang about, I'm going to pay for a new training course or I'm going to learn something new, because it can bamboozle your mind a little bit, think, hang about, this is too hard. So you want to start from the beginning. You want to start where it's easy to show people, like, okay, if you're going to do something online, think about it.
What's up? I am back with another episode on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches, and consultants. And in this amazing series today, we have a Benjamin Poulter. He is the founder of Break the Chain to Your 9 to 5. He helped people to get rid from their 9 to 5. He is the podcaster. He helped people to make money online. He helped people to launch their online business and so many things. So without further ado, let's have Benjamin Poulter on the stage. So, woohoo.
Hello.
Hi, bro. How
How
are
are you
you?
doing? You're right.
I'm good.
Good. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
It's a really amazing to have you on my show. It's a really awesome.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So, guys, if you are with us on live, drop hashtag live. With us on replay, drop hashtag replay. And make sure you take pen and paper, notebook, notepad, whatever the things you have. Because Benjamin is going to share lots of golden nuggets with us. So, make sure you take your pen and paper. So, before we are we good, ready to go, Benjamin?
Yes,
Everything
we were born
good?
ready.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, could you tell a little bit about yourself, on your backstory, on how you got started, so the people who have no idea about you, they also get to know about you?
Yeah, well, for me, I back well when I was 19, I started being an electrician, and I run my electrical business for 25 years. And I got to a position where I was earning good money, but it wasn't enough to get a mortgage for a house that I wanted, sort of thing. So I thought, right, okay, well, I've got to change my circumstances. And it was either earn more money at being an electrician by expanding the business and having more stress and basically working a lot harder, or completely switch it around and change my career to something that will be better for my life rather than just working to live, sort of thing. And that's what I felt like I did for the last 25 years, is sort of work to live. I was constantly they call it a 9 to 5. But in reality, in some cases, it's sort of a 6 till 10, really, in the evening. Like it's a long job. So I thought, right, I'm going to change my career to maybe something online. So I looked into multiple different options to sort of build a business online, and then that sort of took me around the route for like two years or so, trying different businesses. But then I found affiliate marketing, and then that really suited me, because then when you find something that you enjoy, sort of thing, you can progress and you can do it a lot more. You're happy to do it. So I've sort of clocked on to the affiliate marketing side of it and sort of grown my brand from there, really, for the past 4 years now.
This is insane. Like 20, 25 years of experience, but you want to grow, you want to work hard, you want to do some kind of different thing, and there you started affiliate marketing. There
I
you start.
started from the beginning, yeah, which I also found quite hard, because sometimes in any business, sort of thing, when you
Right.
start from scratch, especially from an older age, where you say, right,
Uh,
you were quite experienced in the respected in the electrical industry, but you're entering a completely different industry, so you're bottom of the pecking order. So I found that a
yes.
little bit difficult to start with as well.
Actually, I am also a different industry. My education background was computer science, and then I shifted to this online business. So completely different industry. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
related.
is. It is sometimes difficult to switch to a different business or
Yes,
a different industry, isn't it?
definitely. I totally relate with you. So you are helping people to break the chain of 9 to 5. So how exactly you are helping them? You have any framework for that?
Well, for I've sort of built over time is my podcast. And my podcast, obviously, people listen to it and think, right, okay, so that, because I didn't know, I thought when I was younger that, right, okay, I was trained as an electrician. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and that's where my earnings will be capped. That's the sort of money that I'll earn, and that's sort of the rest of my life. Well, that's not necessarily the actual reality of it all. you can change, you can do something different. I could have even changed to do maybe a YouTube channel on electrics. But what I decided to do, because I fell into electrics because of the traveling. I traveled all around the world being an electrician, so that's what I enjoyed with it. I enjoyed meeting new people, and obviously I enjoy talking as well. That's obviously why I do a podcast. But that's so what I do on my podcast is enlighten people in the way that they could build a business online, and to give them plenty of different options, and then and then they can obviously come into my group on Facebook and where to start, because no one really wants to start. Like myself, it's a bit skeptical to say, hang about, I'm going to pay for a new training course, or I'm going to learn something new, because it can bamboozle your mind a little bit, think, hang about, this is too hard. So you want to start from the beginning. You want to start where it's easy, to show people like, okay, if you're going to do something online, think about it. I always say, if you like, fail to plan and plan to fail. So if you make a plan to start with what you're going to do and build on that plan, then eventually it'll get bigger and better, and obviously replace your 9 to 5. Because a lot of people that I do know, they sort of quit their 9 to 5 and say, right, I'm going to go all in online. And they go all in with the expectations that within 6 months or 3 months, they're going to replace their income. That's not necessarily what happens all the time. You've got to start, build a brand. You've got to learn. And I do think you've got to pay to play in this game. In any game in the world, if you wanted to become an electrician, I had to pay for a course. If you want to become a doctor, you pay for a course. So if you want to become an affiliate marketer, pay for a course. It will help you advance. Obviously, yes, you can do it for free with the YouTube channel, the YouTube videos, and sort of the free trainings are out there. But to get into the nitty gritty and to speed it up, sort of thing, have someone that can show you the way. Have someone that's had the mistakes. Have someone that's sort of made the mistakes so you don't have to do them.
This is crazy, insane advice right now, right there. Because what you are mentioned is completely true. Because pay, you have to invest in yourself. From our childhood, we go to school, we are
Yeah,
investing in our education. Then, if someone is going to high school or in the college, they have to invest in their college education, first year, second year. So it's,
exactly. Yeah.
you have to pay, you are paying there to learn something new, and the same thing you have to do into your life, into your business, for your
Yeah.
personal growth, for your professional growth. This is
Yeah, don't you
completely
think we're molded in the world to look at money as like, oh, money, you got to keep hold of it, you got to earn as much money as you can. But if you change your mindset and think, right, money's a tool, money's going to stop you sort of not knowing. Money's going to get you the answer to things. Money's going to help you in a way. Just use it as a tool, exactly the same as you do with time. Because they always say, if you want to build a business, you've either got to sacrifice a lot of time or a lot of money. So if you use that together with to invest your time to build something online or to build a business, and then when you start scaling and advancing and knowing where you're going, then invest a bit of money that you've earned as well. Always invest in yourself to be able to advance a lot quicker.
right. This is insane advice right now, right there. Because money is just a tool,
It
everything is
is
a tool right now. This camera is a tool, and because of this vehicle we are able to deliver our message to the world. Everything is
exactly.
just a vehicle. How we use that vehicle is matters the most, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Very good way of putting it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Because the thing is, that if you think back later on, like, what does money get you? Can you drive that money to work? No. You get a car. Can you eat that money to survive? No. You buy food. So money is being used as a tool forever anyway. So if you get that into your mindset that money's a tool to help you advance in life with learning or advancing in a career, then it's going to be it's going to help you a lot in the future.
Yeah, this is completely insane right now, right there. And you mentioned you started with the podcast. How you are getting the idea of starting the podcast? Would you
Well,
like to share some
the idea
insight?
came from no doubt everyone's very good friend, Russell Brunson. Russell
Oh
Brunson
wow!
said, right. Everyone said to me, I found out online that everyone said, like, document your story, document how you're getting on, because not just for everybody else to learn from you and to see where you've came from, but then to also see yourself, that you can look back in maybe a month or 6 months and say, hang about, yeah, I learned that then, I knew that then, and I've advanced on it. So this is
Right.
what I started doing with the podcast. I'm documenting my story, seeing what I've learned, like maybe do some training one day on email autoresponders or maybe funnels, and then document what I've learned or how I've learned, how I've understood it. Because sometimes I think people might agree that you don't always understand the person that's teaching it, they look at things in a different way because everybody's different all around the world. So you look at things in a different way. So this was my perspective. I was looking at things in one way. On my podcast, I was explaining it. So then I thought, well, hang about, what if people have a different opinion? So then obviously I started asking other people's opinion and interviewing them, similar to yourself, what you're doing now, asking people's opinion as how you'd look at building a business online. What steps would you take? So everybody was a little bit different because if I went to build a business exactly the same as you, I guarantee you in 3 years or 4 years' time, they'll be completely different because
Right.
they've got our own personalities inside that business and we do things a little bit different. We've got different
Yes,
ideas. We've got different brains at the end of the day. So
definitely.
things evolve, and that's the best thing about it. Be unique because you cannot copy. Why copy someone else? You'll always be second best. So if you do it unique, then you're going to be the first, and you're going to be better than everyone else. You'll be the first best.
This is awesome, awesome, awesome. God, hot diggy diggy dog,
Yeah,
right?
fantastic. Hot diggy diggy dog. I like that.
Yes. So you did 80 plus podcast on your show.
Yeah.
How does it make an impact in your personal and professional life?
What the podcasting?
Hmm.
The podcasting, because I always thought, right, okay, yeah, I'm going to build a business. I'm quite a stubborn person, so I build it how I want to do it. But then sometimes you've got to ask other people's opinion because, especially, but I was asking people's opinions that were maybe in the same position as me, that was saying maybe building a business for maybe a year, and I was asking their opinion, and they were giving me their opinion. But I needed someone else's opinion that were up there, that were just a couple of steps ahead of me. So then
Yes,
I
yes.
thought, well, I'll ask people that are maybe a few steps ahead of me, or like two or 3 years ahead of me, ask their opinion. So I've got them on the podcast, asked them how they did it, what they did. And then, so the podcast is an interview, but it's also like a coaching second session, to be honest. A lot of the people on there, I take into consideration what they say, how they did it, and the struggles they went through. Because sometimes you might spend a day or two trying to get something fine tuned and right. But then you could spend your time doing something better that will help advance your business a lot more or advance your maybe podcast a lot more. I was trying to think, why should I go into maybe paid ads and advertise my podcast? Well, what's the point in advertising something that no one wants to listen to? So that was my point. So then find out what they want to listen to and why they want to listen to it. What's relevant at the minute? What's gonna help people? What provide value basically? What you want to make people listen to your podcast rather than force it down their throat. The same as anything with a course. If you say you've got a course on podcasting, you don't want to say, "Hey, it's not for everyone." No, not everybody wants to podcast. It's the certain people that want to podcast. You've got to create your content around that sort of specific item which you draw people into. And it's the same with any niche. Like if someone came along to me and said, "Hey, do you want to buy some makeup or some hair treatment?" Not really. It'd be pretty useless.
Crazy, crazy pieces of advices and ideas you are sharing with us right now.
Good.
This is a way to build relationship. This is a way to learn their expertise, and we are able to create ourselves as present ourselves as an
Yeah.
authority. This is something that is amazing. You just share. Great, super,
Yeah.
bro. So at the moment, how many ways you are using to make money online? Any specific thing you want to share?
Oh well, the thing is with diving into the online world, you find out that there's so many aspects of ways you can make money online, and you've got. I made friends. There's a guy called James K, and I follow him on YouTube, and he comes up with so many different ideas to make money online. So I thought, right, I'm gonna give this a go. This is a simple idea. What he we did a video about online, and it was about print on demand. And from I don't know, from maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I started putting videos on YouTube about motocross riding. Me and my friends went out motocross riding, so I put the videos on YouTube for all of us to see, basically all my friends. But then a year later, it got monetized. So I make money from the videos on YouTube that basically they're just fun. They're a load of us falling off, having crashes, making jumps, doing this, fixing bikes, and just it's just a sort of a hobby, and it makes money. But from there as well, all the photos that we take, because I don't know if you do any hobbies, sort of if you do windsurfing or motorbike riding, it's nice to have a photo of you actually on that bike or doing something. So the photos that people take, I've put them on a print demand shop on Etsy. It was just set up and leave. So I set that up, left it, and then people buy the pictures, and it goes straight on to print on demand. And I make, I think, $3 a time when everyone does that. So that's sort of a stream of income that I just leave. That's my newest one that I'm quite excited about. But then also, because obviously working in the world of online, you're open to so many opportunities. There's like crypto, there's forex, and there's so many. There's drop shipping, Amazon FBA. So I also invest in crypto, which I've invested in crypto since 2017 now. And if anyone's watching this and thinking 2017, it's quite a good move from 2017 because it has gone up quite a lot. So that's another stream of income what I use for making money online. There's all these different streams that come together, and then obviously with affiliate marketing, that's sort of my main gig in a way, and I just enjoy doing it. It's things that you enjoy. I enjoy looking at different aspects, and then obviously share with other people as well how different aspects you can make money online. Because after you build a bit of a capital as well, there's another platform, the video that I put on YouTube about how you can invest some money that will make, I think, 5% minimum a month just on auto. Well, I've put a load of money in that as well, so that just makes money. So it sort of grows. It's not maybe an addiction. It's sort of fun. The more you have fun, the more money you make in a way, and you can use that money to advance, make money. It's a golden rule sort of thing. Money makes money. It's how it works. It's the day and age. Money does make money. So if the more money you make, the more money you can make, sort of thing. And if something's working, double down on it. Double down on it. Do it again, because you'll make more money at the end of the day.
Crazy, man, crazy. Like money works for money, and you are able to make more money when you have more money.
Yeah.
And the things that is working for you, just do it on double down that one thing, double down that one task, and you are able to make lots of money.
Definitely,
Crazy,
because
man.
if something's working a lot of the time, I don't
Yes.
know. Maybe give things maybe a month or two to say, right, if it's working, then double down and make it work better. But sometimes things
Yes.
don't work. Like I've had multiple things that I've tried, to be honest with you, that I've tried out and think, right, forex trading. I tried forex trading, and I did fantastic to start with, but then I didn't know enough. So it dropped out, and I thought, right, I don't know enough, so I'm not going to concentrate on that. Some people concentrate on too many things at once. So I do concentrate on my podcast being the main thing, and then the other things are sort of just passive in the background that I just keep an eye on, because I know. So I suppose I class them as a little bit of a hobby. I've invested in crypto and things like that. It's a bit more fun because I'm not one to look into crypto and trade. So I know you can make fantastic gains with trading crypto, but I don't know enough. So I don't trade it. I just hodl it. Stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome, wow. So you just mentioned the thing is working for you, double it down. So in our business, like most of the things are same, which is working for us. So any specific thing that is working crazy for you, like having messenger conversation, publishing content, which is the one thing working best for you, and you want to suggest to my audience as well?
Right. Well, what's working best for me, and the thing I enjoy most as well, is the podcast.
Oh,
Because obviously, like I said on the podcast, I was documenting my story, and I was telling people, and then I was interviewing people about how they built a business to get different people's opinions. But now I've sort of advanced to another level as well, is where I look into a lot of things like maybe side hustles to help people start out online from the beginning. Because a lot of people, well, I know a lot of my friends that say, well, I can't invest in a 5 grand course. I can't invest in some new training. Well, you can start from the bottom, maybe with flipping. I've got a podcast on how I flipped a few motorbikes and sort of made some money that way to invest in something else that will obviously progress up. And there's other things like you look into a certain subject that people are interested in at the moment, like massively at the moment, the economy. The economy is crashing all over the world. So how are you going to survive? So my next sort of, I like looking into things like that. It interests me to think, how am I going to survive this economy crash, or this recession? So what's going to happen? So if I can sort of find ways that I'm going to survive for it, or I'm going to thrive through it rather than sink, because I do think that a lot of people can thrive in a recession without having to lose all their money, because a lot of people do lose all their money, they lose their businesses. So I'm looking into now at the moment is how people can thrive in the economy and creating content around that. Because that's what I enjoy doing, because obviously it helps me as well, and then I can help others by producing content on that. So that's sort of what's working for me at the moment.
Crazy. Man, love the way you are
Yeah,
giving the
the
answer.
thing is, it's never something simple, is it? You can't say, right, I'm just posting content on TikTok, because it doesn't. It's never that simple. There's always different aspects to say, right,
Yes,
what you're posting on TikTok, how are you
yes,
posting on TikTok, what hashtags are you using, what sort of content, how are you finding the content to create. So it's all a bigger picture. But once you get into sort of a bit of a habit on enjoying it, then it sort of just becomes a bit of a flow, and you do enjoy educating yourself in the long run.
this is crazy. Like simplicity is the key, but nothing is simple. We
Well,
have to make
nothing is simple, but
sure.
the thing is, if everything was simple, there'd be everyone doing it. Like if it was as simple to throw your link out in Facebook Messenger to say, "Hey, buy this," and everyone bought it, then I can guarantee you that everyone would be millionaires because there's so many people doing it.
This is
Yeah,
super funny.
it is.
Sim-
And
Super.
maybe takes a little while for people to understand that you can't just spam your link out. And to be honest with you, back in 3 or 4 years ago, I did the same. I said, "Hey, look at this. Why would I look at that? I don't click on links that people just spam me. So why would someone else do it if I did it to them?" And you've got to think about that as well, like because so many people do it, and they're brainwashed in a way to think this is going to work sooner or later. This will work. But okay, so maybe you get one person that does click on that link and buy that product, and you might make £1,000 or $1,000.
Oh,
You've got to go and spend another 10 weeks doing it again. So it's not a sustainable business. You want your business to grow, to eventually you can sit on a beach in Hawaii or something like that where you can still earn money. That's my long term sort of plan, is to get everything working a bit more passive, so I can go and take some time off, or I don't know, just relax somewhere. But the thing is, when being an entrepreneur, do you think you don't relax? Do you? Your mind's always going. There's always something you want to do. Even if you're on holiday, you sit on the beach, go, right, this I just thought of this, and you share it with an audience, share it with your sort of following.
I can apply this idea into my business, like entrepreneurship mindset, entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah, it's a never ending sort of thing. If you've got an entrepreneur mind, it's always ticking. So you're always getting new ideas. You're always thinking, right, I'm going to try this. I could do this. I could do that. It's always sort of going, but that's a good thing as well. It keeps your mind activated and active. I enjoy that. And there's always different things, especially with the last few podcasts I did about side hustles. And I didn't want to be that person that says, hey, you can make money doing this. So I tried it. I went out and I flipped motorbikes. I bought motorbikes. I bought maybe a couple of phones from Facebook in my area and sort of put £10 on them and resold them. I thought, right, so this is doable. So I can tell people that you can do this. I can actually show people how I did it so everyone else can do it as well.
Wow, crazy, crazy, crazy. So, guys, we are here for few more minutes. Like, so if you have any question, you can drop your question in the chat box. And what is your daily schedule is look like? What specific
My
thing you do
daily
on daily?
schedule.
Yes.
Right. Well, this is something that I've only been doing for the past year or so, but I used to look at it as being a quite geeky in a way. But I do think that your mind needs sort of feeding as well as your physical body sort of thing. So I look into things on the internet. If I get an idea, I think, well, I'm going to look into that. The idea that I think of maybe like how to survive in the economy, it might change over time as I look into it. But then also to keep myself sort of motivated, I run every morning. I've got a Springer Spaniel dog that I take running every morning, and I try to eat healthy and drink healthy. I used to think that maybe that was that's all just bollocks sort of thing. But then if you do eat healthy and you give yourself maybe a bit of time, sometimes I go and sit in a field and meditate a little bit. Sometimes it's just these little things that help your mind as well, because your mind is always tick, 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 go, go, go. Give it a rest sometimes. Or people say to me, give your mouth a rest sometimes. I do have to give my mouth a rest. I have to shut up every now and again. But sometimes you just sit still and relax and just be at yourself. So in the mornings, I do go out for a run, get back, have a shower, and obviously at the end of it, stick it on cold, because I don't know if you've heard of Wim Hof. That's another person I follow on YouTube. That if you're having a cold shower, it brings all your nerves, brings all to the center, regenerates your body. So you get out the shower and you're feeling ready to go. Like this is the thing, you feel ready to go and you're energized. And then you just because if you sit down, if you are working from home, you sit down in front of the computer and you're doing work, and it's great sometimes, but your back might ache and that. Do a bit of exercise, get up and out, and maybe give yourself targets. Like it before I have lunch, I've got a target. I want to find out exactly what I'm going to do this next piece of content about. So I'll give myself a target, and I know at the end of that target, I get lunch. So in effect, it's a reward. So I reward myself. But then once I get lunch, I'll do a few press ups, sit ups, just to try and get the blood flowing around a bit as well, because I don't want to sit still too much, just to keep yourself going. So maybe everyone's different for a different morning routine, because obviously people might have kids to get ready for school, or they might not have a dog to go running. But just do a bit of exercise as well to keep your mind, body, and soul exercised, I think.
Loved it, loved it. And the thing that you mentioned is reward yourself. Like the reward is you are giving as a lunch, but it's a small reward that you
Yeah.
keep in your mind that yes, I did something
E- e-
extraordinary,
Exactly.
and
Yeah, it
yes,
gets into your head that that's a reward. You're going to reward yourself, or maybe like if you say, right, well, I've done this like bit of content, I've finished it, I've all done. Get yourself outside, reward yourself with maybe taking a walk down the park or going to see a friend for a coffee. Like these little rewards that you aim for, it entices you to do better, or it entices you to get things done. This is what I think as well. What helps with me, and I didn't used to think it would help with me, to be honest. I used to think, oh, I'll do it at my own leisure. But when you haven't got your own leisure, because being your own boss, sitting at home, you do think, I'll do it when I want. I'll sit back. Actually, I might watch that Netflix series that I've been catching up on. Like sometimes time flies. This is the thing. But if you like get into the habit of getting things done and building your business and getting creative and getting the content out and obviously talking to people and making friends online, then yeah, that's the way you're going to grow. That's it, and being sort of consistent. Everybody says to you, be consistent. If you be consistent, then you will eventually get bigger and better. And that's exactly what you've got to listen to. These little things that people say, like be consistent, be creative. These little things, and then dive into them and think, what? How am I going to be creative? How am I going to be consistent? How am I going to create these habits? This is what I sort of look into as well. I sort of dive in deep to things, like to think, oh, okay, I understand that a little bit, but I want to know more. So I'll try to find out as much as I can to convince myself.
man, this is a insane right now. And yes, consistency is something that is literally helping every single individual. Like if we talk about Newton, I think Newton he failed for 10,000 times, or I'm
Yep,
forgot the name, but he was
exactly.
consistent with himself, with his work, with his purpose of life,
hmm
and that's the thing.
He, he
He's
had he
able
had a
to.
goal in mind, and he didn't stop until he did it. This is the
Yes,
thing, and a lot of people do the same, don't they? Like inventors. You look at Elon Musk with Tesla. He's got to
right.
a position, and you think, well, okay, you're creating an electric car. You're one of the richest men in the world. So why doesn't he sit still? He doesn't want
Consistency.
to. He wants to do bigger and better. He goes and puts a car on the end of a rocket and sends it into space. Well, that's quite cool, I suppose. But he could just sit back and go, right, I've earned my money now. I've done my bit for the world. But you can't sit still. You don't stop. This is the whole thing. If you've got a relaxed attitude, he doesn't go sit and watch Netflix all the time or anything. Or he could make his own Netflix, to be honest, couldn't he? I think. But he doesn't do that. He's always advancing, because that's it. I'm assuming that's his mind. It's always ticking. It's always like, what's the next step? It's always aiming further. It's like anything. I say in a boxing fight, don't try to punch there. Try to punch there, because then you'll shoot through that and then skyrocket. So always aim high, and when you get there, don't get complacent to think, oh, I've got there now. I'll sit back and I'll reward myself. And I think, hang about, I've got there, so now I'm going to go there. Like, and then always give yourself targets. It's nice to say, because a lot of people say to me, so when you've done this, Ben, when you've accomplished what you're trying to do, what's next? You're never going to be happy. Yeah, well, I'm always happy. I'm just aiming high. I enjoy it. I enjoy the thrive of a challenge, in a way.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's take one question from audience. Is it's Lisa is asking, how does Ben monetize his podcast? Means
Right.
you.
there's a lot of ways on how you can monetize a podcast as well. With what I started at first is obviously documenting on maybe what I've learned. Say it's email autoresponders, and I'll talk about my email autoresponder and how it works, and then I talk about what I use. There's so many. There's Aweber, there's GetResponse. You can even use it inside ClickFunnels, but I was using GetResponse. So they put a link to GetResponse of how people can use it also, and then maybe a link to a training video what you've also done on maybe YouTube to how to set up the workflow, and so that was how I monetized on from the beginning. But then later on, when you get a bit popular, people obviously reach out. When you start to get a name for yourself and your brand sort of grows bigger, people reach out. And I've had a lot of people reach out about coffee. And I don't think it relates too much. I drink coffee, but they want to. I think there's a lot of companies out there that say, "Hey, do you want to promote coffee?" And what you can do with your podcast is a little sort of stop in the middle of it and go, "Hey, just to let you know, like this coffee that I drink, it's fantastic." And talk a little bit about that coffee. That's a sponsored product. So you get sponsored on that product, and you can well, you take on sponsor sort of thing from anyone like there with a YouTube channel as well. With the motocross, you can sponsor, like there's a company called 24MX. I get sponsored by them, so they pay you a certain amount to advertise their product. So that's how you get monetized on a podcast. But then also as well, there's another way. There is a how many views you get on a certain platform. Maybe it's Anchor or Podbeam, or I think Riverside. There's so many. It depends where you house your podcast, but you can get the amount of views you get. It obviously helps that platform grow, so they'll reward you with a certain amount of downloads. You get a certain amount of commission from that as well. So there's so many different ways in which you can monetize. It's similar to YouTube, I suppose, but the podcast, they don't put. You can have the option of putting an ad into your podcast, but I'm not a fan of that because I don't want to have my podcast rolling, then someone comes along and promotes maybe a crypto or coffee, something that's not relatable to the podcast. Because I don't think I'm not just going to capitalize on the sponsorship just for the money. I want it to be like helpful to the audience. So there's so many different ways in which you can monetize your podcast as well.
Yeah, there is so many ways, and if you are, for suppose an example, if you are not be able to monetize your podcast, at least you are building your brand, and if you establish your brand, you are easily coming up with any product of your own. You are able to make money. So this is
Exactly.
something.
When you first start off with a podcast, just concentrate on the value and
Yes,
growing your audience and getting people to hang about. This guy knows what he's talking about. Guy or girl, sorry, knows what they're talking about. So then they'll follow you, listen to you, and then the beginning. There's a lot of stigma at the moment, I suppose, online about people saying, "Hey, you pay to become a coach to teach to become a coach."
right.
Well, people are saying that, "Oh, you shouldn't do that," but hang about. It doesn't matter. There's so many different levels of being a coach. If you've come along and you've learned one thing and you can coach another person, then you're a coach. If you can teach someone something, you can be a coach. This is the thing. There's so many different levels of coach. This is the thing. Like people are out there saying, "Oh, I could teach you how to earn $100 online." Well, that's because they've done that and they can teach you the steps and how they've got to $100. There's other people out there that can say, "Right, I can show you how I made $100 million online." Well, that's because they've done that and they've made $100 million online. There's different levels of coaching as well, like in any aspect of the world, sort of thing, or business even. Yeah,
Love it. Literally, I am loving all the things that you are sharing with us right now, and I am feeling like I keep continue this session with you, but time has their own
yeah.
thing. So, where do people find you?
Right. If they want to listen to the podcast, I can go
Uh,
straight to my straight to my profile, and then
mhm.
you can click on the podcast from there and see whatever platform you want to listen to it on. It's mainly Spotify and iTunes what people listen to it on, or you can see the videos on YouTube. But then
Is your
so
Facebook profile?
that's my Facebook profile. Perfect for bringing that up. So just go to my profile. It's the easiest way of finding it because I could sit here and say www.breakyourchains.uk/listen, but no one's going to write that down. It's just the thing. It's easy just to go to the profile, click on it, and say right, bookmark it, and we'll have a listen to what this guy's talking about.
So I'll drop the link in the chat box in the description section. And before we wrap up the show, what is your suggestion to those people who is running behind shiny object syndrome by seeing someone luxurious lifestyle
So,
or
sorry,
some fake
say that again.
shiny object syndrome? So
Shiny
many people.
object syndrome. Right, I've got the best solution to shiny object syndrome because I suffered with that also. Everyone does. It's hard. It's hard when someone come along and you're struggling to work on something. You come along and someone says, "This will work. This will make you $1 million in 2 minutes," and you think, "Oh, hang about. This is brilliant. I trust this guy. I'm going to do it." Well, okay. What you want to do is look into it. Do not put your credit card in a different cupboard out the way, but give it at least 24 hours for your mind to think about it, to think about, right, is this a good move? Is this going to help me advance on what I'm doing? Is this going to add to more work and just take me down a different alleyway? Because a lot of people, they buy maybe a product and they say, right, this is working. This is what hang about. It's not working. So I'm going to go back and try again. And they'll just keep trying again and trying again. And then they'll never advance. So if you're ever going to look into any other product after you've bought one, because all these products work without a doubt, the reason why you bought that product, because it's proof of concept that it works. So if you want to advance any longer, then do not buy another shiny object until the one's working. And then if it is working, if the new shiny object that you've seen is going to help you advance on what you're doing, then obviously give it 24 hours still, because if you're like me, you see this new product and you get all excited and you think, yeah, this is the answer. This is going to be great, because you've been G'd up maybe on a call or maybe through the sales page or maybe on a video. So still give it 24 hours to think, right, is this going to help me or am I just excited?
This is something literally great pieces of advice, and you nailed it, my brother. You nailed it everything with the content. So thank you so much once again
Not a
for
problem.
coming.
It's been fun.
Yeah, so I'll join you one in a minute. Till then, have a great rest of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go, guys. There you go. Show your love to Benjamin, and he shared tons of golden nugget with you, with us on this particular episode. So thank you so much, Raman, Uzma, Lisa, and all the amazing people who is watching us right now, live, Kushal, and all those people who is watching us live. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be joining you in the next week, or not next week, tomorrow, with another episode on the Entrepreneurs Warriors show. So make sure you stay tuned. And if you are not part of my Facebook group, here's the link. Go and check it out. The link is here or in the description. So go and check that out. Till then, Nilesh and signing off. Have a great day. Bye bye.